I've pressed the record button.
Alright, it's going.
The rain's gonna be in the background, which I guess is nice.
That's fine.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Opposite Sides of the Spectrum. I am Lauren.
I'm Tiara.
And welcome back to...
And welcome back. Yes. I thought Lauren was gonna get I thought she was gonna get through this intro.
Yo, I'm about to re-record.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Because...
Okay, what's this question you have?
Why we jumping right to the question? My bad, y'all. Look.
You partied too much on your week off?
No, I did not. I did not go to any parties, y'all. I'm too old for parties.
Same. See, I know we're only like 26 and 27, but those do not seem appealing. I want to be in the bed by 10.
Preferably 9:30 at this point.
Like if it's past 8 o'clock, you need to let me know so I can prepare to be out past 8. I want to be home by like 6 every day. That's when I want to be
and
home.
Relax and chill. But the question I have for today is, what's the biggest lesson you've learned so far in life?
That's an intense question. I say it's intense because I feel like right now I'm learning a lot of life lessons. So the biggest one that I'm working on and that I'm learning is whatever it is you want to do in life, you have to be consistent. You have to actually put in the work with whatever the work may look like for whatever you're trying to do, but you have to actually put in the work and actually be consistent. So I will say that is a lesson that life is teaching me right now.
I think for me, it's you can't be Captain Save-A-Ho for people.
That was not at all what I was expecting you to say. Why do you feel like why do you feel like that's the biggest lesson life has taught you though?
Because I feel like that's the thing that's probably helped me the most. Outside of myself. Because I feel like you want to stop every 5 seconds and try to like fix certain things. It's like, that's not your job.
And that's not just for people in relationships. That's for anybody.
I mean that on like a broad horizon. Like there's just certain things I've done since I was a kid of like, okay, yeah, I probably should not have spent so much time on that situation or that person trying to, I don't want to say correct them, but trying to
fix them, change them.
Yeah, I probably should not have done that. I wasted a lot of time. So I think that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned. Now, I think I'm doing a little bit better with just the acceptance of people. I feel like these last few years. But the early version of me, I just wanted to feel like I had to save people. But also people would come to me wanting to be saved, but not ready to be saved. And I'm just like, you cannot be coming to me because you know I'm a little safety net. And then you go out here acting silly again. Like, what was the point of asking me for advice or asking me to keep you accountable if you're not really going to do it?
Yeah.
So those are the 2 lessons I learned so far.
That people are silly and we are silly. That's what that was.
Yes.
Well, no, I do understand. If I could tell y'all the time and money I've spent on my past relationships, if I had all that today, I would be in a 5-bedroom home in Lake Ridge. It sucks to think about sometimes, but you also can't like let that hold you back or let that like, because I go into like decision paralysis or like, because that's called something of thinking about your past and thinking so much about your past that you don't like do anything to change it. I forgot what that's called, but that is like called something in like psychology. So yeah, you can't save people. You've actually taught me to like just accept people for who they are. And I think that is really hard to do with family members specifically.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, you do have to accept people for who they're showing you who they are.
I think that's made the relationship a lot better, actually, just accepting people, because there's not that extra stress of, oh, I have to make this person different, or I have to do this and this. You just live your life, and that relationship is just based on however it's constructed. Like, okay, cool, you do you, I'm doing me, and it's just, it takes a lot of load off the relationship in a negative way. I feel like that you might have put onto yourself, because sometimes people don't even ask for that. It's something you feel like you have to do, like, and it's just, I'm tired. They didn't ask for that, and I'm doing it. Let's stop
doing extra work for no reason.
You know.
Ooh, I'm gonna go on another tangent, so we're gonna move on to the next segment because that reminded me of something else. But okay, so we're gonna do our music. So for the music, I'm doing something a little different. I really love listening to music, and I love listening to like where artists got their inspirations from and where like different samples come from. Because I think a lot of music now is being sampled a lot.
Oh, that's why you did that sample to me this morning?
Yeah.
Oh.
But people don't, well, not that, I'm not going to talk about that specific sample.
Oh.
But I think that's, right now, there's a lot of people making music, but they are sampling things. Mm-hmm. And I don't think some people realize what some samples are and what is not a sample, essentially. But honestly, most music nowadays are samples.
Yeah, everything pretty much is. Mm-hmm. So.
And honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think sampling music can be really cool. I think it's interesting to have an artist hear something and then like remix it or put their lyrics over it or change the speed of it or reverse it. So I think sampling music is really, really cool. But I do want to talk about this one sample. It is, okay, I'm going to play the song and then I'm just going to tell you guys like the other songs that sampled it. So this song is called Darkest Light by the Lafayette Afro Rock Band. They mostly made funk music, and this song was made in 1972 from their album Malik. And I think their album covers are really cool. So definitely like look at their album covers. But this is Darkest Light.
Oh, that's very common in samples.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize it was such like so many people had used this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was sampled. Now, these are some of the songs, a very small selection, because I'm pretty sure way more songs have been sampled.
Which reminds me of that song by Van.
Yes. But this was sampled by Rex and FX in 1992, the song Rump Shaker. Jay-Z in 2006 of Show Me What You Got. And then in 2022 by Van Jess, Slow Down. There's also a version featuring Lucky Day.
I do like that song. I don't really like the one with the Lucky Day feature, but I like the one without the feature.
Yeah. So I think it's cool because actually on oh no, that's the sample I sent you this morning. Okay, I do kind of want to talk about that sample. Just very, very, very quickly because I just thought it was cool how they did it. So it was the song. It was the Bruno Mars song 24 Karat Magic. Mm-hmm. The intro part is actually Rihanna's, what's that Rihanna song, Lauren? It's one of Rihanna's songs, but the 24 Karat Magic, they reversed it. And I thought that was really cool that they did that.
I'm trying to think of the Rihanna song you're talking about.
I'm trying to find what I sent you. Because I was like up at 2 a.m. sending Lauren like 10,000.
I was asleep, y'all.
So now like when we try to find reels we send each other.
Yeah.
It's just this.
It's hard.
It is very difficult because we send each other too much stuff. We really do. Okay, I found it. So the Rihanna song. So yeah, it was Bruno Mars 24 Karat Magic. That song came out in 2016.
I already remember when that song came out because I actually did like that
Wow.
song. I like the beginning part of that song.
Yeah. And the beginning part is the Rihanna song, which is
We Found Love.
Okay, they're about to show what it is. Come on. Did it never just show the name of the Rihanna song? I guess not.
Iconic sampling.
I'm also going to Loyalty by Rihanna.
Oh.
That's what that also sampled. But they like they reversed it to sample it. So I think that's cool, like taking music and reversing it. Because it sounds different. But you still kind of, if you're paying attention, you can kind of hear what it is.
Well, I don't think a lot of people, I don't say a lot of people, but I think people are just focused on the beat, but not really breaking down like the sample. Like, oh, it's a cool song, and that's the first time, but it's really not. So
that cracks me up sometimes.
Because sampling is just a very interesting process. If you don't get permission to use it versus getting permission to use the song, and it's a lot to get a sample. It's not just like you just say, "Oh, I want a sample," and do it. It's a lot of that goes into that process. So, well, sampling is cool. So.
But yes, that is our music segment on today. So I really like organically finding samples because I was scrolling through Instagram and I found that Darkest Light song and I'm like, oh, this is this, and then this is also this song. So I like to like organically find samples of like, because I've never heard of that band or that song at all. I didn't even know that was a sample, to be honest with you, but I never heard of them until I was scrolling through Instagram looking through like music channels and I found that song. So like I think it's really cool to like organically find samples too. So that's nice because you're like, oh, I've heard this sound before or I've heard this beat before and something newer. So it's really cool. I thought you would think that was really cool because you like music.
It is cool. Yeah, I haven't eaten yet. That's probably why I'm at.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, I thought it was really cool. So I guess we move into the food.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing the food, y'all. The food category is not my strength.
Okay, don't say it like that. You can cook enough to survive. That's good. And for it to taste good.
What we talking about today is even since turning 27, I've had to make a lot of changes with my diet, unfortunately. So one thing that I've learned is that I have to remove pork from my diet, y'all. I'm really sad because I grew up eating pepperoni and eating, sausage and bacon and all that, but I've learned that it's when you're a kid, you can just eat. Well, they say, you can eat junk, it's not really going to affect you, which is not true. I feel like it still will affect you in some type of way. But the older you are, it's like the effects are immediate. Because if I eat, and I thought that, okay, if I take maybe a month off of pork and then maybe just eat it here and there, it'll be that bad. No, as soon as I eat it, it throws my whole body, like my odor is awful. And it's just like, it's so quick for your body to just be dismantled, but it takes forever to repair and fix it back to a manageable way, essentially. So that's something I've learned of just being 26 to 27. Like, I really can't eat how I ate as a kid, and I really have to just cut certain things out of my diet unless I want to deal with the ramifications of it. So that has not been fun, getting old. I know I'm not old. I know we're not old, but it just feels like it. So that's just something that I've learned in the last year and a half.
That's something I've known. So I'm actually going back to being vegetarian because I actually grew up vegetarian. So I don't have the same likings as people. And I get, because I've had bacon before. I've had pepperoni. Like, I get why people think it's really good, but I just can't get over the texture. The texture feels really gross to me. And, like, bacon is super salty.
You like salty things, though.
I know, but bacon is, like, greasy. Like, it's super greasy and super salty. Like, I can see how it can be good, but it's a no for me. But I know pork. If you grew up eating something, it is going to be harder for you to, like, stop because you've eaten that for, like, most of your life.
Yeah.
So, I get it. But I'm actually reverting back to the way I used to eat as a kid, which is way better than how I eat now. So, and it's like my body is kind of forcing me to do that too. Of like, stop eating so much junk, stop eating so much meat.
It just, your body just, I think that's just something I've learned. I'm a very stubborn person. It's not like I just say, okay, I'm gonna stop doing this. Like, if I'm gonna continue doing it. But I was like, oh no, I can't keep doing this because no, I can't. So I had to like really just cut out. And I do feel better, but it's just sometimes I'm like,
it's just like a craving.
Yeah. Like, I wish I could still eat that. But
well, you could find
it's not the same.
I know it's not the same. To me, it doesn't taste any different because I grew up eating like meatless pepperoni and meatless sausages and stuff.
I had once you had the real thing though, it's hard to go to the alternative. You know, I have found some good alternatives for other things, but
no, I'll be honest, there's like alternative pork products. They're okay. As someone that's grown up on that and it was like good to me, and then like eating actual pork, I'm like, okay, I can see how this is hard for people that are used to eating pork to like go to the alternative, because the alternative isn't really the similar like texture you're looking for. I think it's more of a texture thing that people miss when they try to go like just no meat, because I know there's different variations of diets where you don't eat meat, but when people try to get rid of meat, I think what they miss more is the texture of it, not really the taste.
It's the taste for me.
It can't be the taste, because if you could take a mushroom and season it the same way as you do chicken, and it's gonna taste the same.
No, it's not. We went to a place where it was like a chicken sandwich, but it was
okay. They shouldn't have
mushroom, and the taste was not good, and it was the taste and the texture. It was a combo for me.
Okay, because the texture. We're gonna have to talk about that on another episode, because I feel like I have a whole like vegan food tangent of. I like that there are vegan restaurants, but honestly, in Dallas, most of the vegan restaurants I've been to have just been a bunch of fried foods.
Yeah.
And I really don't like that. There used to be this one really good vegan, like Middle Eastern restaurant that actually closed. And I'm so sad that restaurant does not exist anymore. And I think COVID took them out. And that just makes my heart so sad. But they made like actual vegan food. Like they would have like an eggplant platter where it'd be like the eggplant stew and your bread and your rice. And they would have fruits and vegetables and juices. So it was like actual food. It wasn't just a bunch of deep fried.
Deep fried or not, it's the texture and the taste for me. It's immediate, like, oh.
I'm gonna convert. I have a plan to convert her to the mushrooms.
I don't like mushrooms, y'all. I really don't. Yes, the texture does play a role. A role in it, but it's also the taste. I know it's mushroom. It doesn't matter how seasoned it is. I know it's mushroom. It's just.
You're not feeling it. Okay, but mushroom does have its own texture. I really like the texture of mushroom. So that's why I love it. But
I don't even like
mushroom does not feel like chicken, but I feel like mushroom is actually like a good substitute for pork. If you did like shredded mushroom, I think you would like that. Instead of a mushroom trying to be a chicken for you. Maybe it needs to be like a shredded meat for you.
Maybe. I mean, I'll try it. But so far, it's a no for me.
Well, nice on the food fact. We got a food fact for me, even though.
We did it, y'all.
And then for our, it is Women's Month. Yes, still. Yes. Okay, great.
We just
we are going to talk about Miss Jackie Shane. Jackie Shane is a blues musical artist. She was born in Nashville, May 15th in 1940, in Nashville, Tennessee.
Why you saying it like
in the would you like to have lived in the 1940s in Nashville, Tennessee as a black woman?
No.
And this is also a black trans woman. So so yeah, in the 60s, the 1960s, she said, I have to get up out of here. She moved to Canada, and she was an early pioneer of Toronto's transgender and LGBT community. She performed at... She had great stage presence, and she performed at... I'm trying to see if they have the club she would perform at. But she would perform, like, in a lot of, like, Canadian clubs, and she lived there for a while until she came back in... She came back in, like, 2012 to take care of her mother, but she eventually passed away at the age of 78 in February 21st, 2019.
Oh, that's sad.
So, yeah, I thought this person was really cool. And one of my favorite songs by them it's called Money, That's What I Want. And maybe I'll read the lyrics to that next time.
Yeah, I do want some money, yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Miss Jackie Shane.
Okay. Why you looking like that?
Hoochie Daddies has been difficult to get through.
Very difficult. We contemplated if we were going to continue doing the review. Because I'm not here to bash. Let me start out with something good. I think it's good that we are starting with the representation of masculine presenting women, because this hasn't been done before.
Yes. In the black masculine presenting women, to be very specific, yes.
And I know when you're first starting out doing something, it's going to take time. It's not like you're just going to boom into this crazy production the first season. Like, I get that. But I think for me, it also depends on the people that you have involved in the show for this particular show. And I just felt like I was not able to really resonate, but with 2 out of the 8 cast members. And Tierra got on me and said, I don't take good notes, but I had to let her know that the reason I don't take good notes, because she's right, I don't. Because
not on this show particularly.
Oh yes, on this show. I cannot take notes on something that has nothing beneficial. It was really just, there was nothing. I had a question on here of what did they learn? Because, and I don't know if that's just because production only put in the clips where they really was doing something, I guess, and they took out the meaningful parts of the show. Yeah, but maybe. It's hard to take notes about something that's not, you're not really learning anything.
Yeah, getting anything from.
It was like mindless TV. I was dozing off watching this show again, y'all.
I think Hoochie Daddies is like Bad Girls Club, but with masculine women. That's what Hoochie Daddies is to me. But let's do our final review of the last 4 episodes. Because we was going to cut this up into 2, but we're like, let's just finish it out. Okay, so the last 4...
6 through 10, right?
Did we ever talk about that tattoo Casamigos challenge? Okay, I only literally have 2 sentences for episode 6. In episode 6, Nikki Banks was the guest judge, and they had a Casamigos challenge where they drunk Casamigos like every 20-30 minutes, and they got these Hoochie Daddy tattoos. The tattoos were not cute, but if you got it like on your face, it's like a face tattoo. Then you got 2 extra points. Yes,
it reminded me of like the Batman DC logo.
The Warner Brothers logo.
Yeah, that's what everybody is.
So yeah, that was episode 6. Nothing really there. I think everybody got the 2 or 3 points.
The host was drinking on top of the scorekeeper, the guest.
I don't know how the score was accurately kept because everybody was drinking, and then the tattoo artist tattooing people while they're drunk is not okay. Is not responsible as a tattoo artist.
But it's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
And you gotta keep up with the Florida shenanigans.
Okay, in episode 7. In episode 7, security is now visibly present since there's been so many fights. What I didn't like, what I started to notice in episode 7, they only have like 5 to 10 minutes to get ready for competitions, and they don't know what the competition is. So it's like, how are they supposed to do that? Stud King and Dyke God were fighting over a bathroom, but Stud King went into Dyke God's room to use the bathroom.
That's why I didn't take notes, y'all. You can see that's why. Why am I gonna waste my precious time taking notes?
And then they started fighting again, and it took 2 security guards to break up this fight. Wow. This happened in the morning.
Why are you waking up fighting? Waking up ready to fight. Oh, come on now.
And then they had a boxing challenge. They had the guest. Her name was Pumpkin Nicole, and she was fine. That was a good guest. We love that guest. And Stud King was liking Miss Pumpkin, staring at her the whole time. So they did a boxing challenge, and they did 3 rounds of 30-second boxing each other. Maya B versus King. Maya B won that one. Fantasy versus J Cash, and J Cash won. Taz versus Moyo, and Moyo won. And then the boxing match everyone was looking forward to was Stud King versus Dyke God, because they've literally been fighting the whole time. Stud King won, but everybody was talking about how Dyke God actually won. And there was a lot of that this season of like people winning, but somebody else really should have won. And the boxing challenge was boring because watching people that don't know how to box is not fun to watch. So I wasn't really feeling that. And then it was an outside challenge, so it was really hot outside. I feel like Florida heat feels like Texas heat, but with humidity, which sounds disgusting. So I know it was gross outside. This is the episode we also found out they still had like their cars, they still had like their phones, so their guns, like, so they could basically just go wherever they wanted half of the time. So I was like, I guess. And then this is when everybody started talking about how the whole competition is rigged for Stud King to win. That was episode 7. Any thoughts or comments on episode 7?
No, we can keep that on. Y'all, I'm trying to get done with it. I'm tired of this review. And we still have 2 more episodes after 8.
Alright, episode 8. Isha Riley, aka Little Barbie, was the challenge. Okay, this challenge was cool. This is one of the challenges I actually did like. They did a makeup challenge called the Switch Challenge. They got some little dollar store makeup and did something. Now, I think Fantasy should have won this challenge.
I thought she did.
She didn't win. J Cash won.
How did she win?
Because they had a twerking competition, and J Cash did some little spin move, and Woody was like, well, she won because she did that move. But it's just like, it was about the makeup.
2-in-1 competition?
We don't know how these competitions work on this show.
No, because Fantasy did really good.
Fantasy should have won, yes.
And look, I didn't like the comment. I think you're gonna get to that, but wasn't this episode where they were like, "Oh, she did good, no homo"? Was that?
Oh my goodness, yes. This was the episode where Stud King was saying that Fantasy looked good, and then she said no homo. I would like the women, the stud women, to please explain to me how liking a woman is gay if you're already gay. I don't understand. No. Please leave the toxic, misogynistic, patriarchal things in that community. Do not bring it over here. we are women that like women.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how that woman dresses. It doesn't matter if she's masculine, if she's femme, if she's in the middle. It really don't matter. If you like women, you like women. We like women over
Especially
here.
with Tracy being like a dancer, I'm sure she's used to getting like all types of attention. So even if Stud can get like fantasy, okay.
Yeah. Y'all are both women.
Right.
Y'all like women.
We gotta stop this.
Yeah.
We really do. It doesn't make sense. And then my thing is, this just goes into a deeper conversation, which I'm not going to talk about yet.
We can talk about it.
Well, you're going to do episode 10 or 9, that's why.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, I was just going to say that it does bring up a different conversation if you're trans or not, because...
That too.
Like, if it's more than just... If you don't feel comfortable or feel like it's right for you to be a woman, then that's more of a self question, I think, to ask. And why you feel like it's gay to like women?
Question mark, because that just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And I think that's just what's so frustrating is being a masculine woman myself. And I really don't have any masculine friends, y'all.
I've heard that it's hard to make masculine friends.
It is very hard because it's like you have to present yourself in a way that you're going to be accepted into that community. It's like its own community in the community. And
it literally
don't. If you act too soft or you do this and that, it's like, oh, you're not a true masculine woman. You just.
I feel like that's like the toxic stud community.
Yes.
Because they are like, here are the rules of being a stud. And if you don't follow them, then you're not really a stud.
I'm not a stud, y'all, but it's just, at the same time, I know if I went into that space, either I would be sexualized or it would just be, I would be very uncomfortable because it's just not a safe space. And I think that's what people have a hard time with. Like, just because you're all gay or whatever, it still don't mean it's a safe space. Yeah. You have to be invited to a safe space in order for me to, well, I have to be invited into a safe space for me to accept that invitation because it is rough. Sometimes you have to think, okay, what am I going to wear? What am I going to say? How am I going to act? It's just silly stuff that is annoying because it's like I came to this community to be myself. Like now I have to construct myself into a whole. I should just stay in the other community and do all that. It's just ridiculous of how people we're supposed to be in a community of acceptance, but it's like we really trying to mold people into what makes us comfortable because we're not comfortable within ourselves.
Yeah, the queer community is not a mirror of the straight community.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be at all because they're fighting for their freaking lives right now. Because if they just looked at each other as equals, the world would be a better place. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we don't bring that in the queer community for a reason because it doesn't work and it's not effective. And if it's two women or two men or two non-binary people or a mixture of those being together, then we're just kind of doing what works for our partnership and our dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's okay for two masculine women to be together. It's okay for two feminine women to be together because at the end of all those sentences, it was women with women. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't care. And I just don't understand why it's like it's becoming a group of masculine black women, which is also very frustrating, that are just like, this is how you be a stud. And if you like another stud, that's gay. Mm-hmm. I really don't understand. We're already gay. What do you mean that's gay? Like they're a gay 2.0? I don't know about, like, what are y'all talking about?
And it's annoying because I feel like the black community is just from a whole perspective, not perspective, but spectrum, essentially, is just that this is the community where it's like, and I'm not saying this to be me, I'm just saying this to be very honest and transparent. But it's like when it comes to the black community or the black community within the mass community, those are the two biggest communities where I feel like I've had to, not had to, but it's like, okay, either I know I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to act before I get to that event or before I'm in this setting. Because people will just meme you and look at you crazy because you don't act the same way. Like, oh, you're not black enough. You're not. Shut up.
Growing up being the weird black girl is such a very interesting life experience.
It is. It is. Like, I have felt more comfortable being in non-black spaces sometimes than being in black spaces. And I know that sounds wrong and it sounds weird and it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But that is the honest truth. And I'm not saying that's every single black person I come in contact with, because I've come in contact with amazing black people. I have, but there have been certain experiences where it's just like, we gonna try again tomorrow. we gonna try.
No, we gonna try again tomorrow.
Shoot.
Who? But we need to do like a whole episode on being the weird black girl, because it's such a crazy different experience of life you go through. It really is. So, all right. So episode 8, yes. And then so that happened. They had the makeup challenge, and they all looked pretty good. Stud King also did a good job, even though she made that crazy comment. She did do a good job.
I would have did bad on that challenge, y'all. I don't even know if the concealer or the foundation goes first.
I am screaming.
So don't ask me to put makeup on. It's gonna look like a clown.
And then CJ the trainer was also a guest. CJ the trainer is like a personality. I think he's from Florida. Because now a lot of people, they bounce back in between like Florida, Dallas, and Atlanta that are like personalities. So I don't know where CJ the trainer's from, but the gay male representation. And he was just asking questions to the contestants about the show and how it was living in one house and whatnot, and why Stud King and Dyke God be fighting each other. And I think they literally fought each other again in front of him. So it was just a mess. But yeah, that was the end of episode 8. More fighting.
As you can see, why I didn't take it.
Alright, and then episode 9. This is when they actually had a good, productive conversation.
One episode.
What about being a masculine mom and about being trans. So the question was presented like, do you let like children call you, like children you're involved in their lives, do you let them call you like mom or dad? And a lot of them actually have really good productive perspectives on it. Taz has a daughter and her daughter calls her mom. Dyke God is more into, she doesn't have kids, but she's more into doing like a communal, I would call it like a communal parenting, where it's her and her partner, so they have 2 moms, but they also have a dad, so there's also like a male figure in there. So I also thought that was pretty cool. I did like that kind of dynamic. There were some people, I think it wasn't Moyo, it was Maya B. She was saying that her niece or someone calls her, like they give her like a nickname that they call her. So I think it was really cool to hear everybody's like perspective on how it feels to be like a masculine woman and parent, and you know, what does the child call you? So, and then they also had a good conversation about Moyo, because Moyo said that she would prefer just to be called dad, and she prefers like masculine terms. And then the conversation was then opened up of like, you know, are you trans or do you just prefer masculine terms? Because each one is okay. Each one is fine. But I do feel like, and I'm not a trans person, so like, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's a journey kind of figuring out that you're trans and figuring out that it's like, I like these terms, not just because they make me feel more comfortable, but it makes me feel like who I am. And I feel like that's being trans versus just, oh, I just have like this preference. So they actually had a good productive conversation at the beginning of episode 9. Not the clapping. Not the clapping. But when you have kids, what do you think you want your kids to call you?
Mom. I've thought about it like billions and billions of times, y'all. Because I already know.
Would you be open to like maybe I think the nicknames are cute, like choosing just something else for your kids to call you?
I haven't thought about like nicknames. I just know whoever my partner is at the time, that's gonna be mom, and it's gonna be mom. I feel like that's just kind of
different variations of the word mom. I think that's cute. That's cool too.
But I haven't thought of like nicknames. I think for nicknames, it really just depends on that person and like the connection we have. I know people probably do like Bubba and stuff like that.
And maybe your kids will make a name for you.
I may make nicknames, so I would not be surprised if they like nicknames too. That's why I say it really is a case by case thing of like what that term would be, because it does go into correlation of that person too. Yeah. So, but yeah, it'll be mom.
Nice, nice. But yes, that's the one good productive conversation they had.
Did she answer the question like Moyo?
Moyo was like, no, I'm not trans. I just kind of prefer those terms. Okay. But I feel like asking someone if they're trans, if they don't know, that's like a really deep question.
That is.
That's a question you really have to like sit with yourself and think. And I don't think that's just something you randomly ask people.
Especially if you're in that process of like you kind of going back and forth if you might be, and like you're not wanting to put that out on national television. So I can understand,
Yeah, but just I just feel more comfortable with these terms answer. Yeah. But okay, so for this challenge, that was like an opening conversation. And maybe they should have done like opening conversations to what the challenge would be. That would have been better, because I actually like how this challenge was done to an extent. But they did the baby doll challenge, which they called the Maddie challenge. So basically this challenge was they had to take care of this little baby doll for a day. Woody came out with these actual little brown baby dolls. They were actually cute. And they were really treating them like a baby. And they had a mini challenge where they had to drink liquid out of a baby bottle, and another mini challenge where they had to keep a pacifier in their mouth for an hour. King named her baby Nova. Taz named her baby Brielle. Maya B named her baby Armand, and then Armaya if the baby is a girl. Dyke God named her baby Dyke. Yes, that's what she named her.
She should do the Dyke Jr.
Right. Stud King named her baby Armani Apprentice. Moyo named her baby Renee. J Cash named her baby Logan Malik Johnson.
The whole name.
Yes, an entire name. And Fantasy named her baby Adonis Gray. So that was all their little baby names.
Oh, cute.
How do you think you would have done on this challenge?
Good. I would have done really good. I would have because I would have been glued to that baby.
I am screaming. I would have not done good on this challenge. I would have forgot I was taking care of this little baby doll.
I would have asked where your baby is.
No, for real.
She probably would have left that baby on the floor.
I would have gave my baby up for adoption to Lauren. So that's what I would have done in the baby doll challenge. All right, and then for the pacifier challenge, the people that lost were J Cash, Fantasy, Dyke God, and King. The people that won were Taz, Maya B, Stud King, and Moyo. And for the Maddie challenge, the people that lost. Now I wrote down why they lost the baby challenge because I thought it was funny. J Cash lost because she was sitting in the car with her baby. And Woody was saying it's hot outside and there's mosquitoes, and you didn't even have your car on. You was in there smoking. So that's why she won. King. Now King, all she was doing. We gon' announce King last. Actually,
please.
And Stud King lost because I forgot why Stud King lost actually, but Stud King also lost that challenge. And the people that won that challenge were Moyo, Maya B, Taz, Dyke God, and Fantasy. So the 5 of them got 2 points.
I think.
Yeah, the 5 of them actually. Well, no. Moyo got 2 points for that challenge. Maya B got 2. Taz got 2. Dyke God only got 1 because she won the Maddie, and then Fantasy only got 1 because she won the Maddie challenge. Mm-hmm. Now everybody else lost both of the challenges. I think King and J Cash lost both of the challenges. But King left her baby sleep while she went outside and smoked 20,000 cigarettes every 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So that's how she lost. And then when Woody was like, you lost because you were smoking, she was like, well, the baby was asleep and they just really got into like this real actual verbal altercation about how,
because that's probably how she parents in real life.
Yeah, which is very disturbing.
Yeah, because she has kids, right?
I don't know if King has kids. I don't know, but yeah,
because you can't leave your child unattended for hours and hours at a time.
And they were supposed to be taking care of this like a baby, like a newborn baby, and no, you can't just lay a baby on the couch and go smoke a cigarette for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. So they were literally like going at it with each other and arguing, and that was literally the last 10 minutes, and it was just too much. Like, I just felt like it was too much.
And also, I can smell that cigarette breath.
No, for real.
Don't be smoking around my kids. I don't have no kids yet, but they don't need to be smelling that.
No, I feel like I have a very strong, like, I'm a person that partakes into smoking, but I don't smoke around kids. I don't drink around kids. It just makes me feel weird. So I'm just not for that. And I think more people should find it gross to like smoke around kids. Even cigarettes, like secondhand smoke. It doesn't matter what you're smoking. Mm-hmm. They're going to pick up secondhand smoke from whatever you're smoking. So I don't think anybody honestly should smoke around kids, period, point blank. Mm-hmm. But yes, they really got into like a 10-minute verbal altercation going back and forth about why King feel like she shouldn't lost and she's always disqualified for things. And then Woody was like literally like actually mad, being like you're a terrible mother and all that, like actually mad. So it was a lot for the ending. And then the group also brought up again how Stud King paid for views. And Woody also got mad again, saying everyone else doesn't know how to promote themselves on social media. So that's how episode 9.
That's basically saying you could have did what you wanted to do. There was no rule on how to get the audience.
Basically. All right, in episode 10, the very last episode.
Y'all.
This episode, they did the Push Luck Challenge, which is their very last challenge that they did. It was basically a planking competition. And they did it outside with all the ants and the bugs and the grass. Only like 5 people competed, I think, because other people had grass allergies. I think they should just did this competition inside. Yeah. Or they should have got a tarp for them to be on so they're not touching the grass. Because how are you going to miss out on the last competition? And this competition was also worth 5 points. So why would you miss out on that? Don't know. But Di got 1 and she won the 5 points. But what also confused me, and it made it seem like they were going in 2 parts, because I missed the part where some people didn't participate because of the grass allergies. They showed them like packing, because this is the last episode. So they were like, oh, the show was so great. I love being here. I love meeting everybody. And they showed them like packing in the middle of the challenge, which was really random. I actually
rewinded. I'm like, did I miss a part where they had the winner? And I saw I did. I'm like, okay. Well, let's just
It was very confusing how they did that. But yeah, Di got 1. She won 5 points. All right, so they did their little finale outfits. Their outfits were cute. I think Moyo just wore all black. Fantasy's outfit was cute. Yeah, everybody's outfits were cute. Now I love me some Miss Fantasy, but I was not feeling her little outfit.
The last one she wore?
Yes, I was not feeling it. But okay, so I'm gonna start with the lowest to highest. Now this is the view count on the TikTok challenge that they did. So they did the TikTok challenge in the very first episode, and they basically were like, at the end of the competition, whoever has the most views basically wins Hoochie Daddies, which I feel like if you're gonna have a competition like that, at least make it seem fair, to where it's not like, okay, well, if I just win this one thing, it doesn't really matter what I do for the rest of the competitions. So that's something I wasn't really a fan of. But King got 722 views, and I'm assuming this is over a week period.
I think so.
So, is this over a week or a 2-week period? I don't remember. Let me just scroll up. I can actually find that answer. Okay, no. I never wrote down if this was a week or 2 weeks. So, yeah, King got 722 views. J Cash Moyo got 1,288 views. Fantasy got 2,185. J Cash got 2,225. Maya B got 6,890. Dyke God got 7,156. Taz got 4,120. And then the winner of this challenge was Stud King. How many views do you think she got?
I wrote it down. 62,000, y'all. 62,000.
Yeah, that was a blowout.
And I also realized in half of the challenge, they didn't even really dance.
No.
It was just them showing their face in the Hoochie Daddies song.
And they had a whole fight on the first episode about someone stealing a dance.
And they really didn't even dance. So I know a lot of people thought that Stud King cheated.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was really no rules on this show. And I would like to see the contract of what they signed. Because if there was no rules, then, yeah, you could bought your way to win.
Yeah, because people saying she bought views. I'm wondering if Stud King maybe had a bigger following before the show. Maybe. And that's how... Or if Stud King is really that good at internet promotion, then, girl, you need to go work for somebody. Because you would make a lot of money doing that. But I just don't understand, like, what the ramifications were. It seems like there weren't really any. So, yeah, if you have a super big following, of course you're going to win that challenge. Or if you know how to get views, whether that's by buying them or how you promote your reels, then, yeah, you're probably going to win that. And it wasn't just a win. She blew everybody out the water with 62,000. Almost 63,000 because it was 62.8 thousand views. So that was a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what she did, but she did something. Because they also had their phone on the whole time, so that you could definitely spend that whole week trying to get views and stuff. So she did something. Maybe when she went to the club, she was able to follow.
I know, for real.
You just never know. Maybe she did market better. I don't know.
So, I don't want to say Stud King cheated, but it's not cheating if there were no rules on if you could buy views or not. So, I mean, I wouldn't say she cheated. But was the competition rigged for her to win? I feel like if they saw Stud King had a much bigger following than everybody else,
they could.
Then, yeah.
Because that's also giving attention. That's also helping them to promote the show, too. So.
Yep. Maybe Stud King will make an appearance in season 2.
Aren't they supposed to have like a reunion or something?
I think so. Maybe. I think a reunion's been talked about. Now, has one actually been shot? Probably not. But I think it's just something that's just being talked about.
Well, I actually did take some notes on this episode ago.
Wow.
Okay, I felt like when they were doing like the confessions of how everybody felt about the season, J Cass says she will not miss anybody on that show. Taz said that she had a good experience and learning experience. That's when I asked, what did they learn? Because...
Not what did they learn.
I felt like, I mean, of course, there were certain things that we did not see in the show. I get that. So maybe they had good conversations when the cameras were not really rolling. But just from what I saw, I didn't learn anything. Except that I didn't want to be on the show. That's what I learned. And then King said that she was proud to be part of the first Stud show.
Yeah. And
Taz said she was getting some booty after the show.
My goodness.
But I just feel like all the confessions were the same. Like, nobody really said anything different. It was just literally them
saying how great the show was, the experience was, living in a house where masculine women was.
Pretty much. So, yeah. And then they won a role in Black Widow, which I didn't see.
The prize
that
King won was a chain, the Hoochie Daddy chain, the trip for 2 to Jamaica, the Hoochie Daddy bragging rights, and a role in the movie Black Widow.
Have you seen that?
I don't know what movie they were talking about or referring to. They apparently want to roll in a movie. We still have not seen Stud King in any movies.
I have not looked for that movie.
So I don't know if that was like a joke or if that was for real. But yeah, that was the prize.
So how would you rate the show, with 1 being the worst, 10 being the best?
I will give it a 4.5.
Why?
Because I do think it is important to have representation of queer Black women. I give it a rating less than a 5 because I do feel like Hoochie Daddies is just bad girls clubs, but instead of straight women, we're just inserting Black queer masculine women.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I give it a 4.5. I do think when you do shows like this, the quality of the contestants matter, and the quality of the contestants will dictate what type of show it is.
Yes, I agree.
So that's why I give it a 4.5. I love Woody's story of like literally going back to, because it sounded like maybe she was like doing her own thing, but going back to corporate America and selling her car in order to like make this show happen. I respect that. Mm-hmm. But if you were going to sacrifice that much, definitely make sure that you have quality contestants on this show. There's a lot of Black masculine women that are in tech, that are in film, that are in photography, that are dancers, as she had on the last show. But I definitely think there should be more women on there to teach and show like a healthy representation of being like a Black masculine woman.
I get you on that.
So yeah, that's my rating for the show.
Oh.
What's yours?
A 4.
Okay, that's fair. I thought you was gonna give them like a 2.
No, I'm giving a 4 for some of the same reasons. Like, yes, I do think it was great to have this first time production on air for a younger.
I mean, this is it's not content for younger people, but
it's not. But it's some representation.
Yeah. I understand like queer people growing up, and like I think it is good for them to see who they see themselves as someone on TV.
Yeah. We had a conversation about this of would I let my kids watch this show, and the answer is no, because yes, it was good to see us on the TV, but I did not like
the smoking, the drinking, the fighting.
And keep in mind
the misogynistic comments.
And I'm not saying you can't do things on the side or whatever you want to do, but it's like this is just like their everyday life of like this is all they do. And once again, I don't know them from a can of paint, but I'm just going off of what I did see from the production. Yeah. But back in the day when we were kids, we did not have this type of representation at all. Like
at all.
Just speaking from like being in my household. If that was on a TV show, I know I probably would turn that off. Like, don't watch that. We don't watch that in this house. So, I think it is nice that kids nowadays are getting the opportunity to have more queer representation, especially in the Black community. Yeah. But also the reason I gave it a 4 is because, and we can talk about this in a whole nother episode, but when it comes to Black shows, there's not a lot of quality representation. It's more of just representation. All representation is not good representation. Yeah. And that's just the honest truth. And I feel like for season 2 to have come out, and I don't know if y'all saw, but she did already put like who the new cast members were going to be. There's so many diverse groups of masculine presenting women that do not all act the same that I wish would have had an opportunity to be put on the show. Yeah. And Tiara and I actually watched maybe a few minutes of the interview process, and it did not make sense. I did not understand what she was looking for to be a contestant outside of being a masculine presenting woman. I was not there. It was just everybody was just saying just introducing themselves, and that was it. But there was really no roadmap on exactly what she was looking for and what the outcome of this show was going to be. Yeah, because there was a person I thought that would have been an amazing person to be on the show, and I forgot her name, but I know she's in North Carolina. She kind of reminded me of Fantasy a little bit.
Yeah.
But there was just so many people that I feel like did not get a fair chance to be on this show. And the people she did pick, they all looked the same. So
and they most likely act the same.
There was just no diversity. And once again, speaking as me being a masculine representing woman, it's just, I would have liked to see somebody like me on the show. I feel like Fantasy was the best representation from season 1. But it just, I feel like I didn't learn from it. It did not seem encouraging in a way.
Okay, encouraging for what?
To want to be on the show and just for good quality representation. I'm not shaming people for who they are. That's who you are. That is who you are. But I just did not feel, I feel like this show was just reality TV 2.0, like you were saying. And I don't even watch the regular other reality TV shows. So I would just like, I feel like there's just so many things you can make outside a reality TV show when it comes to queer representation. How to get jobs, how to network, how to navigate certain situations, people's experience of being a master representing woman. Like, I just feel like there's just so many creativity, like, angles you could have taken it. And once again, we're just doing something that already is done because I know it makes money, but somebody has to be that first person to start something different.
Yeah. Please don't continue following the Tyler Perry formula.
No,
please stop following it. Please.
It's not a good formula at all. I just feel like, and once again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to bash. I know making a TV show is hard, and trying to put the money in it. That's why I do appreciate Woody for putting this out and giving us a platform, even at all, to do this. But
we still need to be honest about the work that is being put out.
And I feel like with just seeing how season 2 was, I just feel like I really did not see any improvements.
We are going to watch the first episode of season 2. And we're going to give our thoughts from that, if we will continue watching or if it was what we suspected and we will not be watching.
I just want us as Black people to progress in our craft and to get better in our craft, whether that's working with other people, bouncing ideas off of other people, something, hiring people to maybe do something else for you. I just feel like when it comes to some like Black shows and mainstreams, we get comfortable with one formula because it works, but we don't take chances on getting better in our craft. And I'm just not a fan of like shows that are just very toxic. Yeah. And that's why I didn't take any notes really, because it was just silly. Crazy. So that's my long-winded reason of why I gave Hoochie Daddy a 4 out of 10.
Ooh, well, that completes our Hoochie Daddy review. It was hard to get through. It really was. Because I feel like the first time we watched it, it was just more for like shock value. And we're just like, this is so crazy and this is why it's interesting. But watching it a second time is actually really difficult because it does feel like you're just consuming mindless TV.
Yeah, and I was falling asleep. So.
Yeah, it was rough to get through.
But I think it also just depends on what mindset you're in or the place you are in your life. Because for some other people, they might love the show. Yeah. But just where I'm at and just wanting to progress, and me personally and other relationships in my life, I just felt like I can do better. Yeah. That's what I learned of, like, okay, I'm doing better. Yeah. In the sense of for me. Nice. So mentally.
That's mentally. I will say the contestants on the show, it gave like, I have not progressed past teenager as in my mindset.
But these women are 30 plus.
Yes. That's all men in their 30s. I literally forget that they're in their 30s because of the way they act, but yeah, let's see what season 2 brings. I feel like season 1 was the best diverse cast compared to season 2. Because season 2 really just seems like the same type of people.
I was laughing because they did like they looked like her offspring. They all look like her children. That's why.
But no, like, shout out to Woody. Please don't roast us if you ever find this content. Please don't.
I'm just giving honest feedback, and I'm not somebody that, if you pay me, I'm gonna lie for you. I'm not. Yes. So
we say that because of the food review people that we think we getting paid to try this food, this nasty food, and say it's good. Yeah, we're gonna deep dive in that on the food segment on our next episode because we need to talk about that. But yes, that is our honest review on Hoochie Daddies. We do appreciate that this content does exist.
Yes. And
shout out to Woody for making your dream of what you wanted become a reality. Mm-hmm. I really respect you for that. I really do.
If you want to do something, do it. It's not going to come easy, but do it.
Yeah. So, well, that is the end of today's episode. I feel like this was a longer episode.
Really?
I do. So yeah, we'll leave all of our socials below. Anything you want to close out with, Lauren?
Just follow us, spread the word about our podcast. I've looked at the analytics. Y'all supporting us, and we appreciate it. Yeah. Just keep on doing what you're doing. We love y'all. Peace.
Bye.